Welcome back. Happy Thanksgiving. Yes, we did already decorate for Christmas and it's only November, but we are here to talk turkey today. It seems very scary and intimidating to cook your own turkey for Thanksgiving, but a couple years ago I had no choice and I had to cook my own turkey or I wasn't gonna have turkey. So I figured it out and it turned out delicious and is very simple. So today I'm gonna go through all of the 3 steps to making a super juicy and delicious simple turkey. One of the most important things that goes into making a super juicy turkey is called brining. If you don't know what that is, most people don't know what it is. It is soaking your turkey in salt or salt water, and oftentimes a bunch of other different herbs and spices are infused into a liquid if it is soaked in a salt water solution, but it helps to bring out the juices in your turkey. Not bring out the juices, but it helps to really flavor your turkey to make it juicier. So the salt sits on the meat, it'll make the skin crispier when you cook it in the oven. All around, you're gonna have a more flavorful and juicy turkey. And literally the one thing that everyone complains about on Thanksgiving is a dry turkey. You don't want to be that person. Granted, turkey is dry to begin with, so yeah, if you wait 3 days to eat it, it's going to be a dry turkey. You can't help it. But doing this will significantly improve your turkey. And it's very simple. Since most people don't have industrial sized fridges, you really don't have room to put an entire bucket of salt water in your fridge, especially around Thanksgiving, because you probably have 5 other things in the fridge waiting for the day, especially if you're hosting Thanksgiving. You got so many vegetables, you got side dishes, probably a pumpkin pie in there. There is no room for a giant bucket of turkey. So all I did was took salt. After you get your turkey home, you rinse it off, you get the bag of guts out, all that good stuff. You dry it off with paper towels as best you can, and then you rub the heck out of it with salt. You will probably use a turkey this size. I probably use at least a whole cup of kosher salt all over your turkey. I prefer kosher salt. I use it for all my cooking. It is a thicker salt, not quite like sea salt, but it's thick and flat, so it will stick to your food a lot easier, and it's easier to just pick up and put a pinch in here instead of pinching the super fine kosher salt, not the kosher salt, but the table salt that most people normally have. So you rub that on, and you can leave this salted turkey in the fridge from between 24 and 72 hours. I left mine in there for about 48 hours or so, and previous years I only did 24 hours. So it is completely up to you. As long as you don't leave it in there for more than 4 or 5 days, you're gonna be good to go. After those hours have passed, you are going to take your turkey out of the bowl. It says to leave it uncovered in the fridge, but I was skeptical of things falling onto my turkey because I put it on the bottom shelf where you want to keep your raw meats because you don't want the juices on the top shelf trickling down and contaminating everything else. So I lightly wrapped it in plastic wrap, let some airflow in. When the air gets in and it lets the skin dry out, it makes it crispier once you cook it in the oven. So you take this turkey, you rinse the salt off of it, you dry it again with paper towel, and then I put it in my pan lined with tin foil. If you don't line your pans with tin foil, you are missing out. I'm telling you, especially if I'm baking something in the oven for a while, I know this pan is going to be brown and crusty, and I do not want to spend 30 minutes scrubbing it clean. So I always line it with tin foil, so then it only takes 30 seconds to wash it off in the sink. Easy peasy. You want to make your life easier, especially on the busiest cooking day of the entire year. This turkey that I got at Target was only $12, very affordable. It also came with a gravy packet, but I accidentally snipped the corner off of it, so I dumped it in the trash. So we have no gravy packet, but that's okay. I have a recipe for gravy that will also be linked down below. Super easy and delicious. This turkey, I did not have no arms or legs on it. It is, the wings are cut off, the legs are cut off. It's just simple turkey breast. I don't want a giant turkey for me and my girlfriend. We can eat, but we don't eat all that. It's not even Thanksgiving yet. So if you are getting a turkey that has all of its limbs on it, make sure you tie the legs in front, keeping the turkey like intact and straight in line while baking. It's gonna help keep all the juices in and make sure everything is cooked thoroughly. But before we do anything to the turkey, we're gonna talk vegetables. Some families stuff their turkey. My family was never one of those families that stuffed their turkey. I don't know why, we just lived our life that way. My mom always made the stuffing, brought it to my grandma's house. I also have her stuffing recipe up, and let me tell you, the past few years when I've brought it anywhere, they raved about the stuffing. So thanks, Mom. She can't really cook, but she can make some stuffing. But we're gonna talk vegetables. What I like to do is put these under my turkey, so the turkey is up off the pan, because we don't want the bottom of the turkey to burn. So that's why a lot of turkeys will be roasted in a roasting pan, so that the bottom doesn't burn from the direct heat from the pan. So we're just going to use some carrots, celery, and onions. Your basic soup mix that goes into any soup. What we're gonna do with these is actually turn it into a soup later. I do have a recipe for it, and I want to say it is definitely my favorite soup. Chopping up these vegetables and putting them under the turkey, all of the juices and the fat and all that goodness from the turkey is going to seep into these vegetables. And after Thanksgiving, when you just can't eat any more regular boring turkey, use the leftover turkey and make this soup. It is phenomenal. It is full of flavor because the turkey is already in the vegetables, so you don't really have to season anything at all. And then I make some dumplings and put them in the soup, and delicious. You're gonna go into another food coma after you eat the soup. So the way I'm gonna cut these vegetables is that so I don't have to cut them again after the turkey is roasted and the vegetables are there, because I don't want to waste the vegetables. I could chop them up into big chunks and put them under here to create a little bed for the turkey, but what am I just gonna throw them away afterward? I don't like carrots that much, or celery, to just eat them as a snack. So we're gonna cut these up into small pieces. That way, afterward, I can put them in the fridge. A couple days later, I can bring them out, throw them right into the soup, because when you're eating your soup, you don't want a huge chunk of carrot on there. Celery. If you have never cut up celery before, very simple. So this is the top of the celery, and this is where the bottom comes. We're gonna use a whole stalk of celery. So I simply chopped off the bottom and I rinsed the celery, because a lot of times you will find dirt in these little cracks in here. We are not going to cut these pieces off yet, because that will give us something to kind of hold on to. So first I'm gonna gather all of the pieces of celery that don't have the little branches at the top and put them on my cutting board. And I'm gonna kind of shingle them a little bit so that I get an easier cut. And when I'm cutting them, I wanna keep them kind of thin so that they will be perfect in the soup. If you don't wanna make soup, you can chop them in big pieces like this, just to create a bed for your turkey. When you get to the end of the celery, these dried butts that look kind of dirty, this is what you're gonna hold on to. That's why I said we're not gonna cut them off. And you can stop cutting there. And then we're gonna chop up the rest of this and put it in a bowl and wait for the rest of the vegetables to be cut, and then we will butter up our turkey. Time for the carrots. So we are gonna slice them about the same width as the celery. I'm gonna cut up the little butt end, and we're gonna keep this end on just like the celery to hold on to. And I'm gonna slice the carrots, but when I get to where the carrots are really fat, because I don't want these giant slices of carrots in my soup, what I'm gonna do is carefully slice the carrot in half, and then we have similar sized pieces of carrot. So I bought a regular, I think 1 pound bag of carrots. I'm gonna go ahead and slice them all up and add them to my bowl of celery. I definitely lied, and I only ended up using half a bag of carrots. Make sure you peel them. The bag was a lot, so we're only doing half a bag. Moving on to the onions, I have about 4 onions. We are going to keep the hairy end, which is the root, and we are going to slice off the other end, just like that. And then you're gonna put the flat side down, cut through the root, and peel the onion. Once your onion is peeled, we are going to cut directly down about 1/2 inch, because this is what's going to give us our slices. Then we can go ahead and slice the onion in another 1/2 inch segment, and you'll see that the onion layers will give us the little bite-sized pieces that we're looking for. So do this to all 4 onions, add it right to the bowl. What we have here is mirepoix, carrots, onion, and celery, equal parts is what it's officially called. But we are going to put this underneath of the turkey, and then what I have here is herbed butter. I also have a recipe for this already on my website. It is fabulous for steak, let me tell you. But it's really good for a lot of other dishes. If you want to add something else to it, maybe you don't know what to add, throw some of this butter on there, especially mashed potatoes. Very easy, and it's gonna help add another layer of flavor to our already delicious turkey. We are going to put the vegetables down first and then head into the turkey. But before we do that, I'm gonna talk about salt and pepper. We brine the turkey in straight salt, and there is salt in my butter. You can absolutely just use plain softened butter. So I'm not gonna add any salt to the turkey. I do not want the turkey to be over salted. Don't ruin your Thanksgiving. But I am gonna add some pepper. So once the turkey has a little butter on it, I'm gonna start putting the pepper in. That way I know it's actually gonna stick to the turkey. Make sure you drink some water before you start, because your hands will be very buttery and slippery and covered in raw turkey. If you need some water recommendations, any 12 flavors that I have in my house are all delicious. When you roast your turkey, you want the breasts up. So I'm gonna lift the turkey up and sprinkle in all of my vegetables, my mirepoix, and mix them up. Nice little bed. I'm gonna run away. Perfect. My turkey on there. Make sure you get a pan with sides. All the drippings and stuff, you don't want that spilling all over your oven and burning. Okay, turkey's in there. Now, I'm gonna go in for the softened butter. And get in every crack and crevice of your turkey. If you are squeamish and don't want to touch turkey, please have someone else do it, because the more the turkey is massaged with this butter, the better it's gonna taste. The butter it'll taste. We're also gonna make sure we get in, like I said, the cracks and crevices. You wanna get some butter in the hole of the turkey. You wanna make sure you get underneath the turkey. If your turkey has wings and legs, you also want to get in those. Do not leave any spot unbuttered. Keep going. Like I said, you can just use regular butter on this. I would suggest using salted butter. Has a little more flavor. There she is, he or she. This beautiful turkey. You saw how I chopped all my vegetables. Taking the turkey out before you do that will help it warm up a little bit. That way it's closer to a room temperature turkey, and it won't dry out as quick while it's cooking because the inside is not quite as cold. Before I put this in the oven, I'm going to show you my absolute favorite tool for cooking any type of meat. My favorite tool is what is called Therm-Pro. That's the brand. It has a million different names. But this probe, needle, whatever you want to call it, will go in the fat part of the chicken breast. And actually we can put it in there right now. You want it deep in your turkey because you want to get the part of the turkey that's going to take the longest to cook. Okay, we got it in there, and what it does is this goes right in your oven, this wire and all, and this stays outside of your oven. And this is what it'll do. You just turn it on, and on the top there are settings. So if you want to cook it, let's say to 214 degrees, you can do that. Now a turkey you want to cook to 165, but to make life easier, you can hit this setting and it will go from chicken, set for chicken 165. And then you hit the arrows and you can go to well done beef, pork, medium beef, ham, rare beef, and you really don't have to think about anything. But we are going to cook to 165, which is the same as chicken. So we are going to set it on chicken, and you will see this temperature climb once it's in the oven. Once it hits 165, it will beep, and you know your turkey's done, and you don't have to second guess anything. I will link this below. You can get it on Amazon, which means you can absolutely get it in time for Thanksgiving. It is pretty sure when I bought it, it was less than $20, which is a steal for something I use all the time. Hello, look at this beautiful turkey, this crispy golden brown skin, all the juices that are sitting in our vegetables below. I think it turned out great. Okay, so a few things we're gonna chat about. The turkey flopped over while it was baking, that's okay. While I was baking the turkey, I did keep an eye on it to make sure the skin did not burn too quickly. Now everyone's oven is different. So when I made my turkey last year, I had a different oven, and after, I'm gonna say 30 to 45 minutes, the skin was already this crispy golden brown. So all I did was put a sheet of tin foil over the top to protect the skin from browning anymore. I do not want it to burn. And then I kept baking it in the oven, that way the turkey kept cooking. But with my oven now, I did not have to do that. It does not have a lot of overhead heat coming down from the top. The oven does not have a lot of circulation at all. So I didn't have to cover up my turkey skin at all, which was kind of nice. While it was baking, you are supposed to baste your turkey, so you can either get some type of ladle or spatula or the turkey baster to suck up the juices and put them over your turkey to keep it moist and delicious. So now that this is done, we let it cool down a little bit. Obviously I'm not touching a pan that just came straight out of the oven. But the next steps I'm going to show you are pretty simple. We're just going to strain all of the juices from the vegetables so we can preserve the vegetables and use all the juices to make our gravy. Alright, so we have our turkey. I have a plate that I'm going to put my turkey onto. I'm going to stick the tongs right in the hole and do my best to scrape off any of the vegetables. Oh my gosh, this smells so good. Okay, now this is going to go to the side and we are going to tackle this. You want to get any type of strainer in a bowl, and we are simply going to put the vegetables in the strainer. Now, the reason we are doing this and not just saving it all together, number one, because this will make our gravy so much more delicious, and number two, the juices that are in here are greasy. A lot of it is the fat also from the turkey, and we do not want greasy soup. So that is why we are getting rid of it. So I'm just going to scrape all of this into here. Perfect. Oh, maybe, oh, see? There's more hiding under the tin foil. You want to get everything out of there. And then press it a little bit. Now, we have delicious juices for our gravy and the makings of a bangin' soup. Here's our turkey. I am so excited to dive into this. It's gonna be delicious. I will show you guys a few cuts of the inside. Let's get going. Have our delicious turkey. So all I'm gonna do, carve it, I guess. Happy Thanksgiving. We're gonna cut right down the breastbone. And you could straight up slice this turkey, but we're cutting down the breastbone, and then, let's see,
I'm gonna angle my knife and slice a little at a time to cut the turkey breast off. And you can see kind of where the bone goes straight down, and we're gonna angle our knife like this and slowly cut. I'm gonna do the same up here. I'm just gonna slice up here. Look at that. Nice. Oh my gosh, that's so juicy. Guys, you should be proud of yourselves because this looks freaking delicious. Oh my gosh, and all that flavorful buttery skin. You know, let me know how it turns out. Just want to say, enjoy. Happy Thanksgiving. You approve? You want some too, huh? This little guy doesn't know how to sit yet, so. Ow! Adopt, don't shop, guys. You'll get a really nice dog. Gentle. 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 Okay, we're getting there. 10 out of 10 for the turkey, huh?